Hello and welcome to Treaded Tube. Today it's a little bit different. I'm indoors. I'm in my office storage room rather than outdoors making a video. And I thought I would use the time to review my best videos or my most viewed videos. Not necessarily the best, but the ones that have gained the most attention over the years. So the plan is to look at the top three and kind of give a director's commentary, give you some insight, some information, some stuff that you wouldn't have known before. It could be interesting. Who knows? I've never done this before, so let's give it a go. Let's see. So I've got my creative studio up. So my most popular video is the DIY scuba diving helmet, which was made back in 2015. Good old days. And to date it has 1.5 million views. So I mean, obviously remember making this. I don't know when I put it out. September, but it didn't kick off in September. It took a few months, and suddenly it just went, crazy views. And I was working in a digital production company at the time, and I had made a few videos before this and thought I was going to be a successful YouTuber, and nothing was really happening. And I'd also, with this company, got my YouTube certification, which is kind of a certificate saying all about YouTube. So I thought, I've got everything. I know how to shoot, I know how to edit, I know how to tell a story, and I know YouTube. And the thing is, I didn't even monetize the video, so it took about 1 million hits, 1 million views, with my money being 0 cents. And I was like, what's going on? Why is it? I've got a green monetization thing, but it was different back then, and basically I hadn't properly monetized it. So, story of my life. I missed out on the big bucks there. Well, not really the big bucks, but there we go. So, let's see. Right. Wow. So this was a time where I was clearly in between hairstyles. I was growing it out back then. Good style. Blue jeans and a creeper t-shirt. In fact, actually, so in that shot, I just take it back a mo. So the opening shot, I'm explaining the concept, and in the background you can see Rob. Well, he's the guy in the water. He's an old friend, great friend. Also a really good diver. So he was my safety guy for this shoot. And then the guy standing up in a wetsuit with the blue hose, that's Laurie. And Laurie equally goes way back with friends, teenage mates together, would hang out, and I just managed to bring this little band together for this video, because the person behind the camera is Scarlett, she's a friend from university, and I was putting on a trip up to the Lake District, like taking people out, because I was also working towards my mountain leader qualification, so I needed to take loads of people out and kind of take them in the hills. But I also knew of this area here in the Lake District. So this is in Grasmere. I'm not going to actually give away the location. I think I might have done in the comments somewhere below, but I flip-flop between giving away the locations of places, because I want people, if that's going to be someone's way into getting outdoors, then like great. But then other times I'm like, oh, you got to find it, like that's the adventure as well. Anyway, I managed to get these guys together, and I was like, I've built this helmet, let's go and test it out. So that's what we did. Also, there's another guy here somewhere called Rick, and Rick was another uni mate. Absolutely loved him. We did a lot together, and he actually lives in this village, but I think I put him on sound duties, like holding a boom, which is not the coolest one. I mean, I've got a lapel mic on here, but also there was a boom operation going on. So he's, I don't know, he's probably gone home. Didn't want the crap job. Actually breathe underwater with a homemade... So this video, with anything that does quite well, it also attracts a lot of negative attention. And I haven't looked in the comments, but I know there's some toxicity in those comments down there. But actually, it's because of this. So this is my little 2D animation of what's going on. And my friend Laurie, who's there, he is an engineer. So very clever. We discussed the physics of what was happening with the carbon dioxide and the oxygen and stuff like that. And we got it wrong, basically. So my diagram has got a lot of hate in the comments because CO2 is heavier, not lighter, so it shouldn't be doing that. But anyway, YouTube comments. And also a lot of people worried I was just being stupid. But the thing is like, I chose this location because it is super clear water here, and it's deep enough to get your head under. You know, you don't want like 3 feet and trying to, like crawl under it. I know it's nice and deep. Well, not nice and deep. Like, here, like 8 feet. But I think it might be an exaggeration. I think it was more like 6 foot. Anyway, I just remember this being an absolute great day. Yeah. Man. So I have a wetsuit on, and then I put this orange boiler suit over it because I wanted to go for a little if you put this in black and white, I could look like an old school diver. And I also wore my Doc Martens, so I got some Doc Marten boots on, kind of like the old metal boots they'd wear as ballast to keep them down. In fact, ballast, there's a part here where what's happening is I'm already going to be too buoyant, and I basically got a balloon on my head. Like this water cooler is full of air, so it's really hard to pull down, even though I've got straps on under my arms. That's just like kind of keeping it from popping off. So I need some weight to pull me down, which is annoying because I should have brought a weight belt with me, but instead I end up grabbing a rock. But the thing with doing this was the plastic that helmet's made of, you couldn't really see out of it anyway, and then it got condensated on the inside, so you're basically blind. I wasn't even sure if it was working or if I was even underwater, like if there was water above me, because I couldn't really see anything. So it was really Rob. Rob was on the GoPro here, so he was getting these shots. He also had he had a spare regulator or a octopus, which is a spare safety regulator, so he'd pump some air in for me. I didn't really need it, but it was, safety first. There was a safety first approach to this, even though it looks massively haphazard. I mean, we were younger, I guess, like mid-20s back then. But yeah, God, that was great. I remember I was so focused. It was so overwhelming, lots going on, and I wanted it to work and wasn't quite sure, couldn't see out of anything, was stumbling on the rocks. But like when I actually got underneath it and holding that rock and could sit down and be like, oh wow, this is working. But I remember my chin being quite wet. The problem, would be like tipping over. That was a concern. If you tip over, then I'd kind of be stuck with my face in full of water. But that's why Rob was there, and he had the regulator, and I think I caught in one shot. You can see that there's a pony bottle on the floor as well, which is a white cylinder. But anyway, getting a bit technical, essentially it was just a redundancy. We tried to, of course there was risks, but it was just fun, really fun, and I'm so happy I did it. I'm so grateful for the guys who were there with me to help do it. Yeah, man, look at that. Look at that kinked up hose with some bicycle pump, probably pumping, tons of particles into my lungs. Yeah, I mean, whatever, man. Like, I'm still alive, I'm still okay. I'd recommend the principle of having fun, however you find it. For me, this was great fun. There's the spare regulator. I mean, look how beautiful that water was. It was totally clear. I mean, I didn't do a very good white balance job on this, because it wasn't green under there, but there we go. Oh, wrapping myself up in the hose. Oh, you idiot. It was great. I mean, I can see why it would have triggered some people, and especially the diving community. Like I am a scuba diver, and yeah, anything that kind of isn't of the utmost obvious safety does definitely rattle them. So yeah, it was a success, and it was great, and I thought to myself, when this video did well, I thought, okay, this is what people want. They want like build videos. I'm gonna make something adventurous. I'm gonna build something else adventurous. So logically went down the line of if I've been underwater, then I'll go up in the sky. So I thought I'd build my own balloon. Got hold of a couple of old balloon envelopes, which I was going to kind of stitch together, but I come a cropper when it came to making a jet burner, because I'm not an engineer. But let's just have a delve into these comments. 877, so quite a few. What's the top one? Breaking toast 5 years ago. You should drill holes in the side for your ears so you can hear the fish laughing their asses off. Yeah, okay. It's got quite a lot of likes. The real life guys, awesome, great. Thanks, real life guys. Rust Monkey. I hate to get technical, but Scuba is self-contained underwater breathing apparatus. What he is using is surface-supplied breathing apparatus. Nice effort, though. Well, thanks, Rust Monkey. Yeah, he's totally right. I only put DIY scuba diving helmet as like clickbait because I just wanted it to do well. If I put snoober, which is kind of the other word for it, snuba diving, it wouldn't have done as well. People would probably be like, what's snuba diving? This guy's an idiot. But the guy, this is surface supplied. Or Sasuba, surface air supplied underwater breathing apparatus. Sasuba, that's the other term. Anyway, it's all fun until he turns sideways, yeah. Says CO2 is heavier than air, then shows a diagram of CO2 being lighter than air. Yep, that's right, Antonio. Yeah. North Korea's space program could use your test data. Wow. They're welcome to, well, for a price. Extremely high quality video for such a to be fair, this isn't as bad as these comments aren't as bad as I thought they were, as I remember. Although there are like 800 more, so probably gets a little bit more vicious. I just remember seeing, you know, comment after comment being like negative, and I was like, you know, don't need that. So I rarely actually look at the comments. In fact, when I get like an email notification that someone's commented, I'm just like, I just delete it, and maybe I'll find it another time. Even though they're mostly quite nice, it's just like, what's the point of having that? You know, you put yourself out there, you make a video. It took a lot to do that as is, and then someone just comes and, you know, like gets disparaging about it. It's not that great. That's a beautiful river, yeah. Oh, I replied to that 5 years ago, man. 5 years ago. Right. Anyway, that is so that's my best video. Let's see what else. What's the second best video? Digging, sleeping in a snow cave, Aviemore, Scotland. This one always did kind of like raise an eyebrow. So this video was created in 2014. It has 380,000 views, so that's it's pretty good for me. And it's really short, 3 minutes 44 seconds. But that's because back then, in 2014, 2015, it was more about like keeping the videos shorter than longer. Nowadays, you know, you put up a couple of hours and people still not happy. But then back then it was crazy. You just were meant to do short videos, so I was always trying to chop time out of them. But yeah, digging, sleeping in a snow cave. Something I always wanted to do was sleep in a snow cave. So my best mate Chris was up for it too. Oh man, these are good times. 2014. So we went up to Scotland. We were actually in North Wales before we went over to Scotland, and a guy in North Wales said about this location. He gave us a pinpoint on a map. He was like, you guys want to build a snow cave there? So we were like, okay, thanks. So we did, and he was completely correct. It was a great spot. Let's watch it.
Snow cave, we've already got a little bit underway.
Look at that outfit.
The plan is to dig into the mountain, then up a little bit, and then create.
Yeah, so okay, so jump straight into the action. We're already digging. Thing is, with this video, I kind of never thought it was that great myself. Like, it took a lot of time and effort, but it was kind of show and tell, and I always wanted to put more of a editorial story to things, whereas this, I mean, this was 2014, so this was early days of my YouTubing. And yeah, I mean, I got a lot of angles, main thing. But I remember with this, we had this cut-off point. We said to ourselves, well, we'll be out by 6. If we don't get it done by 6, we're going to leave, because pretty much no one knew exactly where we were. We did leave in the car like some information, but still, who knows if something had really gone wrong, if that would have been enough. But anyway, it got to 6 p.m. and we were just like, well, we've made quite an inroads, let's keep going. So we did. So yeah, well, we obviously committed to the evening, and I'd done a lot of research on this prior to. We didn't just show up and like decide to do it. Like, we went to do this, and I knew I was gonna do it with Chris, and I read loads about it. What how the best way to make it is, but obviously completely inexperienced in building snow caves, and we're not exactly like grew up in snow, so it was a real test. But the thing with the snow cave is it felt so different than it looked. Like, yeah, it does look like it's just going to collapse, but I can't really explain it unless you've ever been in one, whether you've dug it yourself or whether you've gone in one that someone else has dug. It feels safe and secure. It feels good. So yeah, it was hard work. It was really hard work. To build a snow cave, you're meant to bring two sets of clothes, your digging clothes and then your sleeping clothes, because you just get soaked the way through. So we did do that, but and you're also meant to sleep off the ground. So you're meant to raise, kind of have this channel in the middle, which we dug as well. But then we gave ourselves a tiny little ledge to sleep on. The roof, as you see behind me, is not meant to look like that. It's meant to be smooth, because each one of those kind of like points is a great place to for water to just drip onto you, it kind of channels to the end and drips. I do remember getting dripped on in the evening, but I just, with that beautiful transition just there, let's see that again, from night to day, that clock wipe, that's what it's called, radial transition. Yeah, lovely. That's it. It's gone from night to day, and that was a big story plot, a plot hole. And I learned from this. I was like, as I was editing, I was like, should have really shown what happened overnight, But that was yeah. In fact, I'm remembering what happened overnight. Me and Chris just lay there, he had some brandy in a hip flask, and we had a smoke and had some brandy, and then ate some cake that he brought. So Chris always brought like a surprise along with him. And I never took it for granted, because I never thought he would always be bothered to bring something, but it was always like a treat. And this time it was chocolate cake, if I'm not mistaken. So he pulls out a chocolate cake as we're like, basically cold, wet and uncomfortable, and it was just brilliant. And we were just sipping on this brandy rum that I think his dad had made, like, yeah, infused gin or something. I don't know, I can't remember exactly. And yeah, you make your decisions at the time. We were much young, well, not that much younger, but God, I had such a good time. It was a great memory, and we felt safe and secure. We were just not very, we just weren't in a very comfortable situation. And then boom, it's daylight. Maybe I don't remember sleeping. I remember being, with my eyes closed for periods of time. That jacket, I used to love that jacket. I never could have really afford any of the decent gear back then, trying to make it as a filmer guy, camera guy, that's a long slog. But yeah, so back then, I remember getting this Kathmandu jacket from Oxford Street for like 30 quid or something, and even then I was like, it's expensive. But yeah, I loved that jacket. Anyway, so it's the morning. I'm explaining, I think, what happened in the evening. Still here.
No cave-ins or any problems at all.
No, it was all great. I think what I should have done is just show, like, I should have just put should have shown us just having a drink or something in the evening. Showing the temperature, not in focus.
Really uncomfortable.
Really uncomfortable. Yeah, I mean, it was uncomfortable, it's cold, but then what do you expect? We were there. You'd usually build a snow cave if you were kind of in an emergency, or you were, doing some extended trek or something. Instead, we just did it for fun. I don't remember that sleeping, man. Good times, man. Good times.
I've been outside.
Oh yeah, the morning, that was crazy. So we it was actually quite tough to leave because it was a whiteout essentially, and there'd been a light layering of snow, but just enough to cover our tracks up. So, you know, although we knew where we were going, stupidly had just assumed that we easily find our way back. But we did get back in the end. It was fine. Yeah, good times. 2,000 likes on this one. Thanks, guys. Just having a quick look in the comments. I can't remember. I mean, there's probably... Oh, no, I seem to have hearted a few. Oh, you should have made the ceiling more curved for a less chance of collapse. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that all sounds good. Gareth Southgate really doing bits in between international breaks. I don't know what that means because I don't follow football, so I've got no idea. Maybe I look or sound like Gareth Southgate. It always if the Americans always just tend to pick up on my English accent, I guess, and I don't even think I'm that English. It's weird, eh? Did you install a vent above the sleeping platform? Otherwise, you're risking CO2 poisoning. CO2, I swear, it's gonna get me, isn't it? Anyway, right. Well, that's my second most liked video, or not liked video. So my second biggest video. Again, I wouldn't have necessarily said it was the best that I'd done, but people like what they like, eh? That's the thing. I mean, I wish I understood, even though I'm been doing it for a while. I just don't know what YouTube wants. Tell me, YouTube, because I want to, I want my videos to do really well. So the third video of today's review is Trash Island in Paradise. Now this one's done well outside of YouTube, and it's done well on YouTube, 150,000 views. But outside of it, it's garnered a fair amount of attention from like Unilad, Lad Bible, or Discovery Channel. No, Discovery Channel had my DIY scuba diving. Basically, I have had quite a lot of interest over the years from different media companies licensing my videos, or just taking them and saying, hey, look, here's some exposure for you. Yeah, thanks. It's done literally nothing, but there we go. I'm not bitter. Right, Trash Island in Paradise. So just a quick thing. I don't explain it in this one, I don't think. But the thing is, I was in the Maldives filming for a Dutch fishing company. Yeah, random, really, really random. But we were going out overnight filming the fish and stuff like that. And so the Maldives is a 1,100 islands. It's so many islands everywhere, atolls and stuff. And the main island, the capital, is Malé. And I was on Malé for like an afternoon and an evening, basically. And the crew were doing their own things. We just had some time off. That's my point. We had some time off, and I was like, whoa, God, I'm in the Maldives. This is great, because like you're paid to be there, essentially. I thought, what can I do? And I remember the other camera guy went off to I think there was an infinity pool on top of the hotel. So he went off up there, and I was looking on maps, and I was like, what's this? And I found Tilafushi, Trash Island. I was like, I'm going. I mean, it was driven by fascination, exploration, and this kind of journalistic, like, wow, I could take my camera there. Let's see what's there, basically. See if I can make a video about Trash Island, because it blew my mind just thinking that there was an island built of trash. I didn't really know much about it. So, yeah, I pretty much Googled the hell out of it as quickly as possible, how to get to Trash Island, whatever. Found that there was a boat that left at the other end of the island, so you just jumped on in like a taxi, get to the other end, jumped on this boat. I think it was like £1, like it was something like 40p or something like that. It was so cheap. Was on with all Maldivians. I mean, I didn't feel out of place. Like, no one cared. That's the thing. No one cared about me at all. Like, no one looked at me. I had a little tripod and a camera on me, and I was just like, pootering over to Trash Island. I get off. People just literally like, whatever, man, going their own ways. And I'm like, okay, so where's the trash? Because when you get on there, it's not exactly like, you don't just walk onto a wall of rubbish. Anyway, walk around a corner, boom, find Trash Island.
You might wonder why,
and that's where this introduction comes from. I just remember being like, wow, that's going to make an amazingly impactful first shot. But I really wasn't sure what my story was. That was the thing. I mean, you know, okay, this mad place. Oh, I'm re-explaining everything I've just explained to you guys, but I've given you more of the insight, less toned down version. Yeah, it was tricky. I didn't know what to do about it. It was kind of like, I don't know, because I know everywhere that, you know, every country has this, they just don't have an island that they've made. You know, they've either dug a landfill site out and it all goes in there, and then there's fences and, you know, you just can't ever see inside. Whereas this is, I guess because it's a more of a, I don't know if the correct term, but it's more of a developing nation. Whereas there was no concern, health and safety wasn't top priority. There was, you know, and I get it. It completely makes sense. Who cares? Like, you want to look at this? Okay, weirdo, you can have a look at it. And that's kind of what I ended up doing. You know, I just thought, well, I'll go and have a look. No one stopped me, and I was kind of constantly looking over my shoulder, as you normally do when you've got a camera and you're trying to film something without permission. But I don't know if, you know, permission even existed.
For example, the UK exports over 3 million tons of its trash to European countries every year.
The thing, when I went without much, you know, I went there without a big insight. So the key thing was to kind of like film as much as possible, but then I also didn't have as much time as I wanted. So I tried to get as much footage as I could, because I actually, crazily enough, went there again a year later. So I was doing the same job with the Dutch fishing company a year later, and I thought, oh my god, okay, I've learned what I was missing from this first video. So I made a second one, which is on my channel as well. But this first one, I just tried to get as much footage as I could, but I also didn't really know what I was trying to say, other than like, can you believe this, you know? And I was trying to rationalize it while I was there as well. I was into watching a lot of Slavoj Žižek at the time, this Slovenian philosopher who did this film called The Perverts Guide to Cinema. Amazing, really good. And I kind of got into him and his perspective and his thoughts and stuff. And he had previously done a thing on rubbish, on trash, of it being a part of nature, because it's everything here, everything is nature because it's come from nature. And I kind of like got my head around that a bit. I was like, yeah, that's right. And then it comes, in a sense, comes down to aesthetics, that, you know, nature's going to be here whether we keep ramping the climate up or not. Like it will exist beyond us, because we are nature as well. Oh, it's getting tricky, you know, like the molecules atomically. I won't go into it too much, but have a look. Just go and do a little bit of Slavoj Žižek trash in YouTube. You can find some good stuff. And then I just saw, I'm just going to rewind a bit. I saw this makes me cringe a little bit now. I think I was kind of clutching at straws a bit. This whole, like, plastic, you know, how to clean up the planet. I was kind of on this track of, capitalism got us into this, so capitalism will get us out of it. Capitalism creates products that turn into unwanted products, which is rubbish. So then, you know, capitalism will also eventually find a way to turn rubbish into valuable commodity somehow. You know, and it's so difficult, because, you know, there's so many different perspectives on it. But, you know, I started looking around, being like, well, what's out there already? And I think around this time, maybe there was that whole mushroom, someone is inventing mushrooms that eats plastic, and then there was this 4Ocean thing. And I wasn't necessarily promoting it, but it just seemed like an interesting example of like how to clean this mess up, because that's the question, right? The question is, this is here, well, what do we do about it? Not this is here, what's it mean in that sense, you know, like, what's this represent? It's like, oh, that's unpleasing, let's fix it. And I'm coming to more of like, well, there's not necessarily something you can do to fix it, you know. This is what I mean. I need to have a good conversation with someone about this, because I don't know what to say about it, really. Like, it's really difficult to explain. I had one position years ago, and now, you know, like anyone who's who's actively interested in something, your perspective changes. Anyway, right, let me skip through all this. Sea bins. Yeah, man, look at all this stuff.
Governments could make a far bigger and immediate impact. This is a hugely complex situation, and I don't have the answer. And
I got some nice shots, if I do say so myself. I'm pleased with it. I mean, look at all that plastic. I just couldn't believe it. I think also having a lens, when you're shooting something with the camera, you are a detached person. I say that's also a contradiction in terms like you're very focused, but you're focused through a lens. You're looking at it from a. Let me just finish my point. When you're kind of looking at something, but you have this barrier up, or this editorial barrier. What am I looking at? What's this saying? Is it telling the story that I think I'm telling, etc., etc. Yeah, I think I got some good shots. Anyway, moving on. I remember this last bit actually, and this was the bit that really linked me into my following film, the Return to Trash Island, because I wanted to bring more of what the trash was like in the Maldives. Because the Maldives is so beautiful, and we don't want to see this. We don't want to know this about the Maldives. But it's the perfect. It's the perfect example, of what we don't like. This kind of like curated idea of beautiful, of beauty existing in nature. Yet, there's probably nowhere on the planet where you could walk, a mile without seeing some plastic waste there or some type of man-made waste. And I think that's what really kind of, that must have been what's excited people about the video, is like paradise with trash. So anyway, whatever. They're my 3 top performing videos with a little bit more context, a little bit of a review. It's been fun for me. I mean, I never watch my stuff back. Basically, I never. Once it's done, I've watched it a lot by the point I've uploaded it, and unless there's some stupid problem that I've overlooked, or the export has like kind of corrupted something and I've not watched it, although I do now watch everything I put online once before giving it sign off. Stuff slips through the net and then I'm done with it, and it's kind of been nice. It's kind of been nice to rewatch some of these things because they've taken a lot of my life up. It's mad actually. In fact, how many videos have I even done? How can you tell that? I don't know. Lots. Oh, 137. A lot of them are. I've taken them down actually, like made them private. So maybe I'll do a little video reviewing my private videos, the secret stash. Anyway, thank you very much. Please like this or share it or subscribe. I don't know. Bloody hell! Just give me a hand. Just sub. Tell your mates. I would love to do more, but they take so long, and whilst it generates no revenue, it's just a pure indulgence, which sucks any money away that I have. But I really do enjoy making videos, the ones I want to make, the ones I want to tell. So I'm glad you've enjoyed them too, to a degree. Anyway, have a lovely rest of your day.